Hey, this is Walt with Raybuck Auto Body Parts, and today we're going to take a look at the progress we've been making on our 67 Chevy pickup, and I just want to show you a new product we have at Raybuck's. So let's take a look at what we got going on here. Pretty much there's just stuff everywhere. Been trying like crazy to get this thing back on the road, but as you know, like working on these trucks or any old vehicle, it just takes time and you run into problems. So let me show you what I've been up to. As you can see, we have stuff kind of scattered everywhere. In trying to get this done, I've just kind of not paid attention to organizing anything or cleaning up much. Just kind of trying to knock things out. The biggest thing is I've been trying to get all the dirty work done, all the really dirty work that the drivetrain, all the oil, grease, years of dirt and everything. And we've made a lot of progress with that. As you can see here, the frame's clean, painted. Wasn't what I originally kind of had in mind of doing. I wanted to keep the truck, you know, old looking, but as you saw, I did the back frame, and then as I came forward, it was just so dirty and it was just so bad. And by the time I got everything scraped off, and it was just better off just to clean it all and paint it. But the rest of the truck, the firewall, inside of the hood, all that is going to stay the same. Had to do a little bit of work there where the heater box came off. We are not going to put the stock heater back in it. That was filled with a bunch of mouse garbage and it's pretty much scrap. So that is going to get replaced. I would like to put probably a vintage air system or something like that in eventually, but I think for right now I just want to get the truck on the road, so we're just gonna make some type of block off plate for that and worry about that hopefully in the winter after we get the truck driving. The rest of the inside, like the engine compartment, is going to stay pretty much the same. I may clean things up a little bit, but not a whole lot. Just get all the old dirt and stuff off of them. You can see right here, I actually just cleaned this up and put a little wax on it. And it kind of brightens up the dull paint a little bit. And that'll kind of fit with what I'm trying to do. The other thing that we've been doing with this whole front end is getting all the front axle. I still have to get the steering box done. I took that out. So there's been a few roadblocks with some of those things, and I'll show you what we got going on with that. As you can see here, the front axle is all apart. There are brake parts, axle parts, different things all over the place. Got this apart, and as would be expected, there was a lot of stuff that was worn out on it. So had to have those things either replaced or repaired. The center section, took that apart. On a Dana 44, there are two seals right there on the inside of the axle tubes which prevent the rear end grease from going down the tubes, because this is a closed knuckle axle. So basically what that means is typically you would have kind of like a C, kind of like a C here, that you would have two ball joints and another knuckle. This doesn't have that. Since this is an older truck, it has kingpins in it, and that knuckle area is not sealed completely, but as best it can be. So once that all goes together, there's a seal that goes around that ball. It's kind of like a Heim joint almost. It has a seal that goes on the knuckle, and it seals against that ball, and that ball is filled with a special grease that is different than rear end grease. So the grease is designed to stay in there and not leak out. But what happens is, over time, those seals in the axle leak, and the rear end grease runs down the axle to the end and then starts leaking out all over the place and making a mess. And that was part of the problem with this truck, is the axle and the frame and everything was just so covered with years of dirt and grease that it just needed to be cleaned off. The other problem I ran into was these the ends of these axles, the way this seal sits on here, it kind of sits like this and it pivots as you turn the wheels. Well, that can cause some wear on this part, and the areas that I guess don't see a lot of movement will tend to rust sometimes and get a little bit of pitting in there. So what I ended up doing, and I haven't finished it yet, but just put, I was checking out some forums on solutions for this, and people recommended just putting some JB Weld on it, sanding it down, and that helps take up some of the grooves and voids. So far what I started sanding seems to be doing what I wanted to do. It's taking up the small grooves and things like that, and will hopefully help seal these axles or the hub ends once it's all together. I don't know if I'm going to do it. This side was worse than the other side. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with the other side because it's not too bad, so we'll see. But got this redone while it was apart. Had to take the gear set out of it and just check that everything looked good. It just needed a good cleaning, and put it all back together, sealed it up. So that's what's been going on with the front axle. And I think we have a video on the motor. I don't know if we posted that yet, but this is the motor waiting to be painted. As soon as I get this axle back in and some other things for the front suspension, we'll be working on the motor and getting that in the truck. Right now it's just wrapped as we got it back from where it was built. So, but we'll have more on that coming up. Let's see, so the brakes, I don't know if I mentioned that yet. The brakes, I was originally going to go with the drum brakes, but as I took them apart, I found there was some wear on the spindles that had possibly had a bearing galling on the spindle. And once I started looking at the cost to buy a new spindle, buy the repair parts for the brakes and everything else, I finally just decided to go with a disc brake conversion setup. It was a little bit more, but in the long run, it's a better system, and it's really what I wanted originally anyhow. So we're going to go with that. And I'll show you a little bit about that. I haven't got that yet, but when we get that, we'll show you that kit. So for right now, I think we're going to keep all the drum brake parts, just so we have all the original parts. And you never know, in case we need them for something, or someday somebody wants to do a restoration and wants original parts, we'll have those. But the one thing I did want to show you is a new product that we got at Raybucks, and we just recently got a new line of ProForm products. A lot of people have been asking for different types of paints and primers, body fillers, things of that nature to help complete their projects. They come to us for the body panels and things like that, but in order to do the job, you need some different paints and primers. So we got this new line of ProForm products, which is this is a self-etching primer, and we have a weld-through primer. We have some body filler. So everything you should need to, if you need a patch panel, you can put that patch panel in, prep it, prime it, get it ready for final paint. So you can see those products we have on our website, and I'll show you this one a little bit. This can is kind of neat because it's a typical self-etching primer, but it comes with two caps. It has this little cap which has like a little mount on the side, and that's your typical type of cap that you would have on a spray can, for instance. And then it also comes with another cap, which is a wider spray pattern, and I'll show you how those work. It's pretty neat because if you're, you're spraying say you put a body panel on and you want to, spray that panel, you can use the larger cap to do that because you get a nice wide spray pattern. Or something like this, which is a U-bolt bracket, which I just did. You could use the smaller tip where you could direct the paint. You don't want a big fan spray to do this. You want something that's just going to kind of follow this line. And you can see this, the paint cover is really nice, a nice even finish. And it's your typical, it's like a flat finish for, most self-etching primers. But looks nice. I've been using it on some of the pieces I've been restoring, and it works really well. The self-etching primer is that is meant for clean metal, unlike our Zero Rust product that we sell, which is designed more for rusty metal. The self-etching primers are good for freshly sanded metal or new parts that you just want to prime and paint. So let me get this set up and I will show you the two different spray patterns with the different nozzles. Okay, so this is the larger spray pattern. Let me see, it does say on here. Yeah, the black cap has a larger spray pattern, which is about 6 inches. 6.5 inches, and the smaller white cap has a spray pattern which is about 2 to 2.5 inches. So this is the larger spray pattern, and you can see how that sprays a real wide pattern. And then we'll switch out the caps. So this is the white cap with the smaller spray pattern, and that has more of a focus, more of a round spray pattern. So a nice little option for a spray can, especially if you're painting, say you're painting a panel, but then you got to get in between a jam or something like that. You can swap those nozzles out and it give you a little bit of different coverage for your paint. If there's any new products you'd like to see, please let us know. Like I said, we are trying to add some new products, and we have a bunch of stuff that we're working on right now to add to the website. But that's it for today. If you have any questions about the truck, please let us know. Be happy to answer any questions you have, and stay tuned for new videos coming up on the truck. Like I said, once we get this front end back in, we're going to have more videos on hopefully final assembly. Right now it's been a lot of dirty work, just cleaning parts and repainting stuff, but hopefully soon we'll get this thing going and get it on the road. So thanks for watching, and like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Thanks.